They stole his first term as president. These absolute liars who run around trying to act like they're the protectors of democracy completely ruined it, tried to undermine it at every turn and at the highest levels with lies, with out and out lies that were really serious, and changed foreign policy and changed the course of history in this country in Trump's presidency. And there must be accountability. There has to be actual criminal accountability for those who lied. And I can't wait to see this administration do it.
And that was the same attitude that Obama had towards Biden. Obama thought that Biden would eventually everything up. And that's eventually actually what happened. So, but also he didn't have much faith in Kamala Harris. Before she ascended to the top role, he was vetting people like Megyn Kelly.
What happens when a former Fox News star and one of Twitter's sharpest voices decide to go after Barack Obama? It's not just criticism. It turns into a complete media storm. This is not some calm political debate or carefully scripted disagreement. It's loud, direct, and impossible to ignore. Megyn Kelly and Lindi Li don't just take a few shots. They come in swinging, tearing into the image of a man once treated like untouchable political royalty. And by the time it's over, it almost feels like Obama might regret stepping back into the spotlight at all.
That intelligence community assessment of January 17 was set to downplay Russian interference in the 2016 election. And then after a meeting with Obama and the top intelligence community officials, or at Obama's direction at least, the intelligence community did a complete 180 and played up Russian interference instead of playing it.
The image of Barack Obama was sold almost like a luxury brand. Everything about it looked polished, stylish, and carefully designed. The message of hope and change was packaged so well that millions of people bought into it without hesitation. For years, supporters treated it like something special, almost like being part of an exclusive movement that promised to change politics forever.
We were hoping for.
I don't think Pelosi was hoping for anyone in particular, or not that I know of. I do know that Obama was carefully vetting Megyn Kelly, the senator from Arizona. I know there were other names on his list. I'm not saying that Kamala Harris was necessarily at the top of the list, but he was definitely considering other candidates. I don't think she was ruled out. I just think that everyone is, a lot of people, the chieftains of the party, were hoping for a lightning round, a lightning primary. And President Biden essentially preempted that by issuing his endorsement 30 minutes after he dropped.
But here's the thing about a strong perfume. Eventually, the scent fades. And once it does, people start noticing what was really underneath all the hype. Now, Obama's carefully crafted image is beginning to crack, helped along by two unexpected critics. On one side is Megyn Kelly, the sharp-talking commentator known for cutting through political spin with the kind of precision that leaves no room to hide.
More fuel on the fire that there's a potential, maybe a divorce or some sort of rockiness going on in the Obamas' relationship. They both posted these mirrored, very choreographed Valentine's Day messages on X, but he was just seen at an LA, the basketball team. What's it called? I can't remember the name. The Clippers, thank you. Game without her. And the LA Clippers.
On the other side is Lindi Li, the social media fire starter who doesn't just roast people, she completely burns them down. Her memes and sarcastic comments spread across the internet faster than celebrity gossip. Together, the two make an unexpected team. Megyn Kelly brings a calm and calculated style, breaking down arguments piece by piece like an investigator laying out evidence. Lindi Li takes the opposite approach, charging in with sharp sarcasm and nonstop mockery, making sure no public image escapes untouched. And the person caught in the middle of it all is Barack Obama.
What were you telling your mom, and how soon was it after the election? Like,
a week or two. When it wasn't at that point, I was just asking questions. Like, it wasn't even. I was like, "What happened to the $2.5 billion we raised? Why did we spend it on Beyonce? Why did we spend 2.5? Why did we spend millions of dollars on Oprah?" Like, legitimate questions that needed to be answered. But the amount of hate I got for that was just overwhelming. And the final straw, the moment that I knew that I needed to leave, was actually around Christmas Eve, when the chair of the party, he's the biggest clown. that the Democratic Party has ever, like, honestly, in recent history.
Kelly's approach feels almost surgical as she strips away the glossy branding of Obama, unity, hope, progress, and focuses on what she believes was really behind it: policies that left middle-class families struggling with bills, foreign strategies that didn't age well, and cultural divisions that, in her view, only grew wider. In her telling, Obama becomes less a symbol of hope and change and more like a travel agent selling a dream vacation without mentioning the hotel had bedbugs. His foreign policy, often praised as statesmanlike, is reframed through drone strikes and unfinished wars he once promised to end. Kelly ultimately turns no drama Obama into no accountability Obama, arguing that he left the White House and stepped into a far more comfortable world of elite influence and luxury.
The elevation of Barack Obama was important to the left in this country. It was important to them. It was, you've made this point too, they were working something out of their own, about their own history, their own feelings, race, and so on. And factoring in, yes, point taken that Sheila is half Japanese too, but also half Dutch. So she looks white. So a white-ish ex-girlfriend fantasizing about having gay sex, that was not part of the program. No one would have any interest in that. They only wanted to elevate the 2004 Democratic National Convention speaker. There is no black, red America. There is no blue America. There is only the red, white, whatever.
Kelly also points out the gap between Obama's message and his lifestyle. The man who once spoke as a champion of everyday Americans now earns Netflix deals worth more than the GDP of some small countries. Seeing the hope and change leader relaxing on yachts while college graduates struggle with student debt feels almost ironic, like finding out your fitness coach secretly runs a donut factory. And Kelly doesn't spare the media either. She criticizes the press for often protecting Obama and smoothing over his mistakes instead of fully questioning them.
They pretend to hate Trump, but it's just a gag. It's just a show. It's a charade. You saw Obama yucking it up with him at someone's funeral, at Jimmy Carter's funeral. Democrats pretend to hate Trump, but at the end of the day, they crave him. They're obsessed with him. They need him for their fundraising machine. They need him for their raison d'etre. Without Trump, they would have no rudder. They would be even worse off than they are. Trump is their lodestar. It's their reason for existence. They're obsessed with the man.
So they're not trying to protect themselves.
They have no other reason to exist at this point because their party is just this. It's just their party basically. It's in shambles.
Enter Lindi Li. If Kelly is the scalpel, Lindi is the flamethrower. Where Kelly breaks things down with careful analysis, Lindi goes straight for sharp, blunt ridicule. She mocks Obama's branding, his long speeches, and the celebrity feel that turned politics into something like a Netflix series. To her, Obama wasn't just a president, he was a lifestyle brand. The tailored suits, the easy smile, and the curated playlists all built to sell the image of the coolest guy alive. Instead of focusing on big promises, she points to what she sees as disappointment for progressives, saying many young supporters who once saw him as a political hero were left with watered-down policies and broken promises. What started as hope slowly shifted into coping.
I know, because when we aren't, folks think we're divorced.
These are the kinds of things that I just miss, right? So I don't even know this stuff's going on.
Right.
And then somebody will mention it to me, and I'm all like, what are you talking about?
People think that they're on the outs because they're not always in the same room together, Maureen. That's what she would like people to believe. Like, she had, what, 1 or 2 public appearances without him, and that's what led to the divorce speculation. That's not quite it, my dear. It's, what are the things? Oh, your words. It's your words that led us to believe you can't stand him.
Lindi's weapon of choice is social media. Her critiques aren't just arguments, they're memes, punchlines, and viral roasts. She turns Obama's iconic slogans into biting satire. Yes, we can becomes, well, we tried. She frames his record like a PowerPoint full of unfinished slides. While Kelly breaks Obama down with careful reasoning, Lindi tears him apart with cultural mockery. And when the styles come together, it's Kelly's precision and Lindi's ridicule.
And then it was Obama. He was elected when I was 17 years old, so I was fully indoctrinated. I went to Princeton. It's like a very, very liberal bastion. Being a conservative there was a blemish. You just couldn't. I can think of like 2 conservatives, 2 Republicans. It was just not a thing you could do. It was the age of Obama. People were enthralled by him. So it wasn't an option to be a Democrat. I actually didn't realize until recently that I could be a Republican. And let me remind you, I live in Philadelphia, where there's this 8-to-1 voter registration difference. It's not okay to be a Republican. You're ostracized.
That's what makes this two-front attack so powerful. Obama isn't just getting criticism from the right, where he expects it. He's also taking hits from the left, the place that was supposed to stand firmly behind him. When voices from opposite sides start saying the same thing, it hits harder. He starts to look less like a unifier and more like a piñata at a rough party. Kelly brings sharp, courtroom-style arguments, while Lindi follows up by roasting what's left with humor that feels straight out of social media.
Michelle's at this end of the table. Obama's all the way over here at this end, and brother Craig is between them like a mediator, like a marriage counselor.
So
if they're
true.
really still in love and together and not getting a divorce, why aren't they seated next to each other?
It's true. And like, why the instant affectation, like, oh, my man. And like she doubles down in the following clip. It's just over the top. And
the contradiction they point out is hard to miss. How do you speak for struggling middle-class families, then leave office and start earning Netflix money like a Hollywood franchise? Kelly calls it hypocrisy in clear, direct terms. Lindi turns it into blunt social media humor. Obama cashed out faster than a lottery winner avoiding his relatives. From book deals to mansions and yacht trips, Lindi turns it all into comedy. So what you're saying is you could print it on a t-shirt. Together, their rhythm of critique feels nonstop.
A lot of people say it was Obama's 3rd term. There's rumors of, and these are friends of mine that are moderate Democrats say that they thought it was Elizabeth Warren running it. They thought it was Bernie Sanders running it. But I think the general consensus, I think if you asked, the majority of the population, they think it was Obama's 3rd term.
It was for sure Obama's 3rd term. I don't think that's even a question. I don't think anyone, it definitely was. And that's why you saw Obama fighting for his dear.
Kelly brings the facts. She highlights the double standard. Presidents are usually grilled and questioned over every mistake, but Obama often seemed untouchable. Drone strikes were explained away, economic struggles were reframed, and cultural tensions were turned into polite debates. Meanwhile, Lindi pushes the imbalance into comedy, joking that reporters acted like fangirls, cheering Obama like groupies at a concert. The humor isn't just for laughs, it reinforces her point that the media rarely tried to break the image.
speaking of Barack Obama, he decided to drop a post on X today. And I thought, okay, maybe in the wake of the Pete Hegseth presser, he's going to say something like, no matter how you feel about the Iranian strike, hats off to our, boys in blue, our guys in the bombers. He went a different way. This is what it was.
Curious how you're thinking about this eulogy specifically in the moment and all the tensions that you just brought out.
I didn't even want to talk. I was so mad. Part of the reason I think
And that's the real sting. Kelly's critiques from the right and Lindi's fire from the left don't cancel each other out. They reinforce each other. The Obama image starts to crack not because of partisan attacks, but because it never fully matched reality in the first place. Kelly points out the weak spots, while Lindi laughs at the performance. Together, they expose the illusion. Obama may no longer be president, but his influence is still there.
Fighting for his fourth term. He's fighting for his own legacy. The relationship between Obama and Biden is most reminiscent of that between LBJ and JFK. JFK had little respect for Lyndon B. Johnson, but he picked him anyway because he wanted to win the South. He wanted to win Texas. But he had very little respect for LBJ's intellect. JFK was surrounded by his Harvard brain trust, and he had immense disdain for LBJ's Texas Hill Country vibe. And that was...
When two critics from opposite ends of the spectrum collide, they usually cancel each other out. But here, they blend into a single message. The illusion is gone. Obama's once untouchable aura now feels like old cologne on a clearance shelf. He isn't even in the room to respond. He's off somewhere in Hawaii, surfing or scrolling through playlists, while his image gets roasted like a Thanksgiving dinner. The man who once sold hope and unity now feels like a symbol people are finally looking at more closely.